There was a father who lived in a peaceful land, where every morning began with the sound of sheep on the hills.
He had fields, animals, servants, and a house full of provision. But his greatest treasure was his 2 sons. This father did not raise his children only with bread, but with patience, wisdom, and quiet love. The older son knew duty, every field, every flock, every long day of labor.
He worked hard and lived correctly, but deep inside, there were needs he rarely spoke aloud. But the younger son could not rest inside the boundaries of home. His heart was always looking beyond the hills.
To him, the world outside looked like a promise of freedom, laughter, and a life without limits.
Every traveler who passed made his heart more impatient.
In the far city, music fills the night. Silver moves like water, and a young man can become anyone he wants.
He listened not only with his ears, but with desires that had never been tested.
His body sat at the table, but his mind had already left home.
The older brother saw the unrest, but instead of asking, he buried it in silence.
The father saw it too. Yet love does not force a heart open. It waits with patience. That night, the younger son could not sleep. A dangerous thought grew stronger in him. He no longer wanted to wait for the future. He wanted his share of life immediately. At dawn, the younger son stepped forward with words that made the whole house fall silent.
Father, give me the share of the inheritance that will belong to me.
It was more than a request for money. It sounded as if the father no longer mattered. The entire courtyard went still. No one dared to breathe loudly.
Do you understand what you have just said?
I want to live my own life.
If your heart has already gone, I cannot hold you here with my hands.
True love does not imprison, but freedom without wisdom can become a road toward ruin.
The father divided the property, and every coin sounded like a heavy heartbeat.
He gave away not only wealth, but the right of choice to a son who did not yet understand the cost.
The younger son thought he held his future, not knowing he also held the test of his soul. The older son said nothing, but bitterness began taking root inside him.
Soon after, the younger son prepared to leave.
Some footsteps are quiet, yet they break the heart of an entire household. A long road does not only test your feet, it tests your heart.
I will be fine, Father. I will prove that I can do this.
No matter how far you go, the road home will remain.
The young man did not understand that those words would become the thread that saved him in his darkest hour.
He left home with silver heavy on his shoulder, but his heart felt light because he believed he was free. The father did not run after him. He let love remain standing at the gate. He is not worthy of your tears. He is still your brother. But in the older brother's heart, justice was beginning to separate itself from love. The younger son crossed the familiar hills, and moved beyond the land he once called home.
He traveled with strangers, heard strange stories, and dreamed of becoming a new man.
The sound of silver in his bag felt like a promise, but it was also a warning.
On his first night away, he still believed he was walking into glory. From now on, no one tells me how to live.
But back home, there was an empty place no one could fill. Some people leave with their feet, while others remain behind with their hearts pulled after every step. The older brother chose work to hide his wound, and the true journey of the prodigal son began. Many days later, the younger son reached a far country where no one knew his past. Everything was new, and the most dangerous thing was that no one reminded him who he was.
A young man like you should wear something worthy of your fortune. He began buying the image of the man he wanted to become.
The new garment covered the dust of the road, but it could not cover the emptiness inside him. Then came music, laughter, and people who called him friend.
Brother, tonight all of this is thanks to your generosity. Enjoy yourselves. There is plenty of silver left.
When people love your silver, they may make you believe they love you.
Day after day, he spent as if harvest would never end.
The more silver he gave away, the louder the laughter around him became.
Yet even in the crowd, there were moments when his soul grew quiet. For one brief moment, he remembered his father's lamp-lit house.
Do not be sad. Life is meant to be enjoyed.
It's noise.
Selfishness is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply eyes that no longer see another person's pain.
When a heart looks only inward, it becomes a stranger to mercy.
He thought he was becoming greater, but small desires were beginning to rule him.
Then one day, the silver no longer felt heavy. He saw the first sign of collapse, but pride told him to ignore it.
Tonight cannot happen without you.
Just one more night.
Wrong choices do not always make a person fall of once. They pull him downward step by step.
And when the light went out, the truth began to appear. The last day of wealth came quietly. He once believed silver could never betray him, but silver does not know loyalty. Those who once called him brother began to look at him like a stranger.
I am busy today. Come back when things are better.
The crowd vanished faster than smoke when there was nothing left to take.
Then a greater disaster came. A famine spread through that land.
Food became scarce, Bread grew costly, and cheerful faces turned into fear. His final coin bought a meal too small to satisfy hunger. For the first time, he began to understand the eyes of those he had once ignored. Brokenness sometimes opens a crack where mercy can enter again.
No silver, no room.
He left the place that had once been full of laughter, with only cold rain on his shoulders. He searched for work, but in famine, everyone was trying to survive. Every closed door broke another piece of his pride. The one who once walked in new sandals now moved like a man without direction. Hunger weakens more than the body. It forces the soul to face the truth.
There is a man hiring pig herders outside the city. Dirty work, little pay, but better than starving.
For a Jewish young man, that work was the deepest humiliation. At last, the son who had lived in his father's house stood among pigs in a foreign land.
Do not lose a single one.
He had traded a loving home for a place where no one called his name with affection. His hunger became so deep that he longed for the food given to the animals. And at the lowest place, truth finally began to speak. That night, in the darkness, he remembered home. He remembered that even hired servants in his father's house had bread enough to spare.
In my father's house, even the hired servants have enough bread.
For the first time, he did not think of his rights. He thought of his sin.
I have sinned against heaven and against my father. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.
True repentance is not only sorrow over consequences. Repentance stands up and turns back. He had nothing left to carry home except the truth. He once walked with pride. Now he walked with tears.
No one sang for him. No one called him friend. But one sentence kept repeating in his heart.
Father, I have sinned.
Sometimes the holiest journey is not toward a new land, but back to the place we once despised.
On the way home, small acts of kindness kept him from falling.
Thank you.
He began to see the beauty of simple things he once despised. Memories returned, not to torment him, but to lead him back to truth. There were moments when he thought he could not walk another step.
If I can only be a hired servant, that will be enough.
Then one evening, the hills of home appeared at the edge of the horizon.
Hope and shame entered his heart together.
He did not know what his father would say, or how his brother would look at him.
But he knew one thing. Starving in the far country was no longer an option. He had to return. While the son crossed through suffering, the father kept one habit: looking down the old road. Day after day he watched, not because he was certain the son would return, but because love refused to close the door.
Master, the sun is strong. Please come inside and rest.
I will stand a little longer.
The older son remained faithful to duty, and his work never stopped. But each time he saw his father waiting, a question ached inside him. Then one day, a figure appeared on the dusty road. The father saw him before anyone else.
No fine robe, no silver, no proud face from the day he left. My son.
In the eyes of men, an old father should not run like this. But mercy is not afraid of losing dignity. The son had prepared a confession, but he had not prepared for an embrace.
Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.
The father did not let his son finish with "not worthy." He answered with an embrace.
My son has come home.
Quickly, bring out the best robe.
The father did not only forgive in secret, he restored his son's dignity before everyone.
The robe covered his shame, but love covered the broken soul beneath it. The ring was not for a hired servant. It was for a son received back. Feet that had walked through mud were now welcomed back into the house.
Prepare a feast, for my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.
A house that had been silent with loss, awakened with joy!
In that moment he understood. Mercy is not a reward for the worthy, but a gift that saves the helpless. The household prepared a celebration, not only because a man returned, but because a heart was rescued from the depths.
Music began to rise where tears had lived.
Restoration does not erase every wound at once, but it gives a person a beginning again.
Father still calls me son.
To the father, sonship had never been erased from his heart.
The feast began as the sun went down.
The one who once spent silver in noise now sat quietly inside true joy.
Today this house rejoices, for what was lost has been found.
The joy of mercy spread like light. But outside in the fields, the older brother did not yet know what had happened. Music? In the house?
What is happening?
Your brother has come home, and your father has made a feast because he returned safely.
It should have been good news, but a door slammed shut inside his heart.
Another person's joy revealed the bitterness he had buried.
He wasted everything, and Father gives him a feast?
The younger brother had once left home with his feet. Now the older brother stood outside with his heart.
The father rejoiced over one son returned, yet still ached for another son standing far away.
Once again, the father left a place of joy to seek a lost child.
My son, why will you not come in?
All these years I have served you, and I never disobeyed your command.
Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends.
The father's mercy was not only for the one who wandered, it was also for the one who stayed but was wounded.
But when this son of yours came back, after wasting your property...
When a heart judges, it begins by refusing to call another person brother.
He returns, and you make a great feast for him.
My son. You are always with me.
A simple sentence touched his deepest wound, the fear of being forgotten. Everything I have is yours.
He had the house, the father, and the inheritance. But without joy, he had lived like a servant in his own home.
But we had to rejoice.
For your brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.
The younger son had received mercy, but family reconciliation still needed another heart to open.
He knew his sin had not only hurt his father, but also wounded his brother.
The brothers looked at each other. One carried visible sin, the other hidden bitterness.
Brother.
Forgiveness does not always arrive in one moment, but it begins when the heart stops closing itself. The father did not force the older son to pretend joy. He invited him into mercy. There is a kind of returning that does not cross a desert, yet is as hard as overcoming oneself.
I do not know if I can rejoice immediately.
Then begin by stepping into the house.
When the hand releases resentment, the heart has room to receive peace. Not every wound heals in one night, but one step toward each other can begin a miracle. The house was restored, not by perfection, but by mercy. The prodigal son had returned, the father had forgiven, and the older brother was invited to love like his father.
Maybe we are the younger son, far from love. Maybe we